How to set up a 3-compartment sink. First, we want to close the drain on the wash compartment. You will turn the pot and pan detergent dispenser on, fill about halfway. Then you will come and do the same with the drain on the rinse. Fill with clean water, fill about halfway. Then you move down to the sanitize, close the drain, come back to the sanitize dispenser, fill about halfway, and then when you're complete, you want to test the sanitize solution.
When to change your sanitizing solution. When you see food particles in your sanitizing solution, you will need to change the sanitizing water. This will be for your thermometer cups or your bread buckets. Once you pop that off, you will discard the dirty water, like so, into the sink. We'll rinse it, wash it, rinse it, sanitize it by leaving it in the sanitizer for at least a minute. Once the minute has come up, you then fill your water back up with the sanitizing solution, test it with the AR Chem sanitizing strips. Keep the strip in there for at least 10 seconds. Compare the color against the AR Chem chart. And you have now changed your water. When testing the sanitizer, you will first dip your bucket into the sanitizing solution. Another way you can do it is using the sanitizing dispenser by turning it on and letting your bucket fill up with the sanitizing solution. You will now test the sanitizing solution using the AR Chem testing strips, pulling one out and placing the testing strip in the water for at least 10 seconds. You will then test against the color to make sure it's 200 parts per milligrams. You will have to test them separately since they came from different sources. One came from the sanitizing and the other one came from the dispenser. Once you have tested the sanitizing solution, you will then record it on the log with the date, the time, your initials, indicate the source, the sanitizing strip, 200 parts per millions. You will then place a towel in your sanitizing solution buckets, and they are ready now to be placed in the serving line.
When receiving orders, this is how you will properly take a temperature and record on the receipt. So when you receive the item, before putting it away, you will take a milk and insert the thermometer to be sure that it is reaching a proper temperature for a cold item. Once you receive the temperature, you will write it in the corner of the receipt and highlight it. When receiving your brother's produce delivery, you will take a temperature of the most sensitive item that you received, which is usually a TCS food, which means food that requires time and temperature control to limit growth of bacteria. So on this list, it would be the shredded lettuce. When you receive the shredded lettuce, you will take a thermometer, place it in between the 2 bags of shredded lettuce. to ensure that the temperature properly reaches, which it is not. Receiving an improper temperature item, refer back to your vendor helpful hints to see the proper way to return an item.
How to properly wash pots and pans in our 3-compartment sink. First, you want to start by discarding any food particles that are able to come right off your pan in the trash can. When finished with that, you want to go to the sprayer and you want to spray off any remaining food particles that will come off. Once that is complete, you put it in your wash and you will use your green scrubby and you will scrub off the rest of the grease and food particles that were stuck on. So once your pot and pans are clean, you move it to the rinse compartment, and you want to make sure that all the soap is off your pan. Okay, then you scoot it over to the sanitation department and you want to let it sit for 1 minute. And then once it's been 1 minute, you want to set it out and you want to let it air dry.
A great way to properly take a temperature of a produce item is using an infrared thermometer. And when checking items in that are frozen, you want to make sure that the boxes are not sweating or have any frost particles on it. Otherwise, you will need to refer back to your vendor helpful hints and return it based on the vendor. At the end of service, to properly clean a table, you will get the Citrus Sol Clean, spray the table, and wipe down with a clean blue towel. Once completely cleaned, you will spray a sanitizer solution onto the table and let air dry. At the end of service, once all tables in the cafeteria are completed and clean, you will need to discard this water and get fresh sanitation water to clean the lines.
When taking temperature of the food, you will put the food past the dimple of the thermometer. If the food does not go past the dimple of the thermometer, you will put food on top of each other until it goes through both. You will hold it for 15 seconds and record the temperature at 178.